Hey everyone, Paul ISM. Welcome to part 3 and the final part of our Revell 124th 70 Dodge Challenger video build. So we've managed to get this completed today in part 3. Normally part 4 is the completion on these kits, but quite a simple kit, not too bad at all, quite a simple interior. So I combined the last two parts into one. So we've got a 47-minute video today. Of the actual build, and then wherever it takes for the intro and outro. So it's quite a long video, so I hope you stick around and watch all the way through. So let's crack on where we left off, and let's start work on our interior, and then we can start getting everything together for final assembly. Hey everyone, please subscribe to the channel, click the bell notifications, get notified of our latest videos, give the video a thumbs up or a thumbs down, and leave a comment. I do read and appreciate every comment you guys and girls leave behind. I may not reply to them all, but they are all appreciated. And there's a link in the description of the video that takes you to a big long list of all handy videos and a lot of the products I use in my videos. So we're going to concentrate on our interior today. A quick look at how the body's doing. Apart from all the crap and flock in the roof, it's looking good. We've got a few spots of dust here and there, but nothing too drastic, and we can deal with that a little bit later on. Chassis looking good, like in the worn effects I added. Yeah, it looks alright. Not a bad kit at all. It's gone together really well. And now we've got our interior to do. So this has been primed in UMP Black Primer and all given a base coat of Tamiya LP5. We've sprayed the steering wheel in metal in preparation for our wood. And we're going to start the day by flocking, but we're not going to use flock today. We're going to use embossing powder. So we've got some Revell matte black enamel and a nice Tamiya HF flat brush. I'm just going to carefully brush the enamel where we want it. We'll let it go tacky for a while, and then we'll pour in our black embossing powder, tip away the excess, and that should be job done. Our carpeted effect should be complete. Now, I do like the embossing powder because it's a lot less messy than flocking, but I think the end result of flocking looks a lot better, especially on larger scale. But I bought loads of this embossing powder, so we're going to use it. So I think for the smaller scales, we'll use the embossing powder, unless it's highly visible, and then we use the flocking. So put it in, let it go tacky, and then we pour in our embossing powder. Don't need a sieve on this one, just pour it in out the bottle. And there we go. Let's make sure it's all evenly covered. We're going to do half at a time. Give it a good tap, and then we give it a light pat down with our finger, not too hard, and don't move it side to side. Just pat down slowly, and then we'll tip away the excess, and hopefully we should have a decent amount of embossing powder left stuck in our enamel paint. Multitude of substances, media you could use for your embossing powder, be that PVA glue, clear varnish, either matte black enamel. Once it dries, you can't see it at all, and it does leave a good effect. So we'll just repeat that for this side, and then we can leave that for a little bit to dry, and we can come back and work on the rest. So there we go, both sides done. Happy with how that looks, not too bad. You get a little bit of shine still while the enamel paint is drying. That'll take a good 24 hours to dull down a bit, but in the meantime we can let that dry. Now, a lot of these have a wooden interior, have wood trim. There's none included with the kit, so looking round, I found this wood decal film from Ushi van der Rosten. It comes in a multitude of colours. It wasn't cheap, it was about £15 for the two sheets. But you get 3 different colours. And you need to paint the background because it's quite opaque. And we're going to pick one of the slightly darker colours. So I don't have white. It calls for white or flesh. But I do have a light brush colour, which is AK779. I say brush colour, wood colour. So we're going to paint this on by hand using a nice and careful. Just get it exactly where we want it. Don't put it on too thick, but get enough to get the coverage. This is straight out of the bottle, no thinning here at all. And this is what we used on our wood trim on the steering wheel, the GT500. And what we used today on some of the wood trim on this as well. But I thought it's a light colour. It covers well. It'll do the job. So nice and carefully, With it being water-based, going over the lacquers, you can wipe it off. So it's nice and easy and simple to use. A little bit of careful brush painting, which will be quite cathartic and soothing to do, to be honest. And we cut off a strip of the wood decal, lay it over the top. We'll get it in place, remove all the excess moisture and water behind, hit it with a decal solution, UMP decal solution, let it dry a bit, and then we'll cut off any excess with a sharp knife. So looking good. Glad it chose this dark colour. It looks really nice. So we just let that sit for a minute. We'll hit that up with our normal UMP decal solution, then our strong to make sure it's fully set and in place. So there we go, the normal first. Always start with the least strength solution that you can, unless you know the decals and you've used them before. And just apply it on. And let the decal solution soak in, do its work, and get it all to conform in place. Now the plastic where the wood trim goes is textured underneath, so once it dries and snugs down, it adds a really good effect to it. We've got our water brushes from Derwent here, which is my favourite brush for putting down decals. I used to fill the bottles, the vial at the back, with decal solution, and used to squeeze it and it'd come out, but as somebody found out, it's not airtight, and over time your decal solution loses its potency. But I got that used to using the brush. I still continue to use them. And there we go. So that's both sides of those done now. Just let those sit. The decal solution do the work. And once you're happy, give a little bit of a push down gently with a cotton bud. And then hit it with a strong solution and leave it be. So we've got the 2 door panels to do. There's some trim on the center console and some trim on the dashboard. While this is drying, we've got some Revell Model Air Silver, and we're brush painting this on for the door handles, the window winders, and so on. Just a bit of careful brush painting. The Model Air metallics cover really, really well. They are ideal for brush painting. Require no thinning. Straight out the bottle, and like I say, the coverage is absolutely fantastic. As long as you're nice and careful and not too heavy-handed, you can add some nice fine detail. Using a nice brush like the Series 7s adds a lot to it. They're not cheap brushes. I don't think that they're expensive though. This brush was about £7, £8. This is an old brush. This is my beta brush. You can tell by the state of it. I've had it for a long, long time. So I've definitely got my money's worth out of it. A little bit of excess paint there, so we just wiped it on my hand. And now carefully get the rear window winders and into the detail part inside the car that need doing. See, the flocking's dried beautiful. We've got a nice textured carpet effect now from the embossing powder. So it looks really good. Happy with that. We've got a wood trim in the center console as well, which is currently just setting in place. Once we're happy with our door cards, we've got some of our Loctite Perfect Pen CA glue. And we're going to run a light bead all around the bottom and sides. And then drop it in. So from what I've seen, most of these challenges, it's a very dark interior. Black seats, black carpet, black dashboard. It looks great. On a model, it's not the most interesting, but we've done some nice bright interiors lately, so it's quite nice to a simple black interior, but I think the wood trim adds to it. There's our dashboard, which is looking good. Just needs a little bit of manipulation into those dials. So we just get a cotton bud, slightly press down, very gently. So a normal size cotton bud doing the bigger hole, and then we'll grab one of the smaller Tamiya ones to get the smaller holes in place, like so. And yeah, it looks really good. Very happy with these decals. I can see these being used a lot in the future. The other thing we're going to do now is match our gear shifter and steering wheel to them, but we'll sort that out later on. So door cards are in. We're going to pop our seat in place now. I did toy with the idea of doing the seats in two-tone, but looking at pictures, they're just black. They literally are just black in most of the pictures I saw. So I thought, let's go with black. Let's keep it an all nice black, dark interior. Happy with that. Bit of Sega, a little bit too much out the front. But if you grab one of the Tamiya's pointed cotton buds and a quick and gentle, there you go, it's gone. Without a trace, vanished. Repeat the other side, get the other seat in place. Make sure they're all lined up and straight and square. And there we go. Not looking bad at all. Dashboard can go in place as well. No instrument dials, so I just coloured them in silver and added a wash. So as you can see, we're painting them silver. They're just still drying. So we'll pop all this in, get it in the right way, let that dry, and just pop a bit of Tamiya panel line wash in there. I do have dials. I'll be honest, I couldn't find them. I've no idea where they've gone. I'm going to have a good hunt around. I know they're here somewhere. They're aircraft dials, but they do fit in the cars quite well. And you've really got to look close to see any difference to the real thing. So there we go. Wood trim's looking good. Dashboard's not looking bad. Look better once we get a wash in there. Door card's good. Carpet is good. Happy with how that's coming along. Now, the steering wheel. We did this technique on the GT500. We've got the AK Interactive AK779, which is a light wood colour. And we're going to carefully brush paint all around the edge of this with the Tamiya HF flat brush. We'll let that dry, and then we'll come in with a darker tone, and we will dry brush the darker tone. So we've got to match this to the decals. So I know I've got to go quite heavy on the dry brushing this time, but putting a light coat down and dry brushing the darker tone seems to work best for me. So we want to avoid the metal center because we want to keep that metallic. Again, some of the cars have a black center boss and spokes. Some have the black center boss and the silver spokes. I look at the silver, so that's what we're going with today. So like I say, a bit of careful brush painting. It's good paint, this AK. I quite like it a lot. It covers really well. It dries nice and fast. It brush paints quite nicely as well. So yeah, it's definitely worth adding. And for this effect, I think it works really, really well. I know people use oil paints and that, but for me, they're a little bit too slow drying. Once we're happy with that, we can move on to doing our gear shifter. So we've left the actual shaft to her in chrome, Molotow chrome that we did a while back. Just wipe off any excess there. The Molotow chrome has been protected with Aquagloss. Now we've got some Revell Aquacolor gloss black, this is actually. I've been trialling these out as a potential new brush paint, and so far they're not too bad at all. Not too bad. So we're going to do the actual column part of the steering wheel in this. Just a light coat all around. Again, brush paints absolutely beautifully. Covers really nice. And these airbrush really well with our thinner. With UMP thinner, these airbrush really, really nicely. So a couple of light coats all the way around. Make sure we've got nice even coverage. That can go to one side to dry. And now we've got the darker tone of AK780 of the wood. And we've got a flat brush. So we've loaded the brush up. We've got most of the paint off. Then we grab our steering wheel again. Oh, we'll start with the gear shifter, sorry, my bad. And we get a lightly dry brush just to get that tone down first to see what kind of coverage we get. Oh, we'll drop it first. I knew that was I left it on purpose. So yeah, careful when you're holding parts, don't go flinging off. But I did this to create minimal contact on the Molotow. But once it's got Aquagloss on it, it seems to be pretty handleable. So it's not too bad at all. Like I say, we're just going to add this dark paint lightly at first, and then we'll build it up till we get the even coverage. We're trying to match it roughly to the decal, the wood decals. So just go around, use your eye, look at it and think, yeah, that's dark enough. What we want to do is leave a hint of the base colour showing through with the darker tone on top, and that will give us our wood grain effect as such. So do it to eye, just have a look, think, yeah, that's enough. If you're not sure, put it down for a bit, let it dry, come back and have a look then. But for me, I was quite happy with this colour. It looked really, really good. Wish I zoomed in a little bit more. This is the thing now. This is left running for hours, this camera. We were looking at 6.5 hours footage here. It's just rolling the whole time I'm at the bench. So sometimes you get distracted, you forget. So you do have to apologise if everything's not in super close up and what have you, because this thing's just left rolling all day long while we're doing it. So happy with the steering wheel. Sorry, happy with the gear. Now we move on to the steering wheel. And again, same technique. We're applying it lightly at first, just to get a base down. and then we can build it up slowly as we go. So go quite heavy on this now, because I know with the gear shifter how much we need to get on there. And I think this is a great technique for adding a wood effect. It works really well. Dry brushing, as we were discussing today on the Sunday morning live show, is a very underrated technique. But it does work really, really well. So as you can see, we've got a nice light tone there, but we needed a touch darker. So we're going to go a little bit darker now, a little bit more paint on the brush. And we'll just keep going until we've got the tone that we like. And then don't forget the back and the insides as well, and the sides. We want nice even coverage all the way around. Quite a focal part on the car, this. You can see it from outside quite clearly. And there we go. Happy with that. We've got one of our Edding paint marker pens. This is black. Basically, this is a gloss black paint in a pen. And it's great for doing small parts like this. So I just want to do this centre boss. It does take a while to dry, but on parts like this, where we're not going to be handling it massively, we can just use the pen to fill around the edge, and then we'll just touch the centre. Once you touch it, pressing slightly on the pen, the paint flows a bit heavier. So just do it until we get it filled. And there we go. We'll put that one side to dry. Once we're happy, we can fit it onto our dashboard. So that's been drying. A quick test fit in place. And that's looking good. We've got our gear shifter in already. Dab with Loctite Perfect pen on the back. Get it the right way. Make sure you get it orientated the right way. Get it straight. Make sure everything is dry. Or if it isn't, don't touch those parts. But happy with that. It's quite a good match for the decal. Probably a shade lighter. But I think it looks good. We'll have a bit of a close-up of this in a bit. But I'm happy with this. It looks good. Happy with that steering wheel. Gear selector looks well. Wood decals look absolutely brilliant, I think. Carpet looks well. So yeah, not a bad interior. Quite simple. Quite not bland, but it's all black. Which seems to be the style on these cars. I've seen a few with lighter interiors, but like I say, we've done a lot of those lately, so it's nice to do a darker interior. Right, we jump straight into polishing and flatten the bodywork. So we've got our micro mesh. Starting off with 6,000. We're going to go around and flat all those high spots. We've got some water. Always keep the micro mesh lubricated with water. Don't dry sand, because you can create a lot more scratches. If you're not using micro mesh, use another abrasive. Again, follow the instructions. I think it'll normally tell you to do it wet. But just we're going to go carefully around, move all the high spots, any dust, any hair, any foreign contaminants. But like I say, with this, unfortunately, we're flawed from the start. We've got flock in the roof. No amount of sanding is going to get rid of it, because it's deep in the clear coat. So we can get rid of as much of the dust as we can, but the inherently the black flock is in there, and it is visible in later pictures, unfortunately. So there's not much we can do about that. Anyway, we started off with 6,000 micro mesh, we moved on to 8,000. We're then going to 12. We're just going to sand all the body until we've got rid of as much of the dust spots as we possibly can, which basically means pushing it as far as you are happy. Now, I've said it many times in the past, I will accept a slight dust spot rather than ruin my clear coat and having to start again. I'm not a perfectionist. I do like things to look as good as possible, but I'll take a slight flaw over a whole redo, because I'll never get these completely dust-free. I'm not in a dust-free environment. It's a busy workshop I work in. It's my cave. I'm in here every day. I model, profound. Well, not profoundly. What's the word? What is the word I'm looking for? I don't know. But I model every day. Every day I'm in here modeling away, sanding, painting. So there's going to be dust in here. That is prolifically. That is the word I'm looking for. So I'm inherently going to get dust. So even if I was to completely strip this car and respray it, I'll guarantee I'll get dust again. The flock, well, that's a lesson learned. and that can stay there. That's a lesson learned not to do flocking in this cave like I knew not to. So that's what we're going to use that for. So, like I said, we get rid of as much of the high spots and the dust as we can. Then we come with our polish, get it all polished up. It's still going to look good, but if we look close, we are going to see the flock, and that's just the way it is. So once we're all sanded, give it a wipe down, have a look. If it needs repeating, repeat it again. If it doesn't, you can move on to your polish, but just push it as far as you're happy. If you don't want to go too far and you're happy, if you don't want to polish it and you're happy, or sand it, whatever you want to do, it's your model at the end of the day. You push it as far as you want to go. If you look at it and think that clear coat's the best one I've ever done, there's a few dust spots in it, I don't want to risk wrecking it, leave it alone. But for me, I know I could push the 2K quite far. It's very tough clear coat. It will take a lot of abuse. You just need to watch the edges and any raised areas. Always go lighter on those. But it will look better after a wet sand and a polish than it does straight out the gum. If you do it properly, that is. So that's up to you how far you go. Once we sanded it, we dried it off. As you can see, still got a great shine to the model. But we're going to come in with our ultimate polish system now, starting off with our compound and a nice carbon fibre cloth. And we're going to go around and get it all polished up. So the compound is a more abrasive polish, basically. So this will get rid of all those micro scratches we put in with the micro mesh. And then the polish will come in later and really get that to a nice high shine. If you catch that roof in a minute, you'll see the reflection on my Paul ISM sticker. Even before it's polished, I've still got a fantastic shine on there. But again, same with the micro mesh, when you're working around it, any raised areas or corners, just take your time. Please take your time. You will burn through a corner or a raised area in a heartbeat. A lot quicker than you think, because the paint inherently goes down a lot thinner on edges. So just really take your time. Make sure the carbon fibre cloths you're using are nice and clean. You can machine wash them. So once you've used them, I tend to, I get them to Hannah to wash, I'm going to be honest. And she washed them for me. And that way I've always got nice clean cloths. You can use, say, non-biological washing detergents in them. Just don't use softener on them, because it does have a detrimental effect, I believe, to the carbon fibre. Anyway, once that's done, we'll buff off all the compound. Then we're coming with our polish. And we're going to give it a final polish up. Whenever you're using compounds or polish, just use straight lines. Don't go in circular motions. Go in a cross-hatch pattern. And that will get the best out of the polish. And then once you're happy with the polish, give it a good buff up. Again, being careful of all those raised areas and corners. And keep turning your cloth around so you get a nice clean part, and just buff it all up so you get a nice high shine. And again, if you need to repeat, if you look at it now and think, oh, it needs a bit more sanding, sand it again, compound it, polish it. If not, if you're happy, go straight to compound or straight to polish. It's your decision, this, how far you want to go. They're a step-by-step program. It's all designed to work together. But at the end of the day, it's your judgment call just how far you should go. Head over to www.umpretail.com and help support mine and Lee's business, because without Ultimate Modeling Products, there would not be any international scale modeler, and all the videos we put out there, and the Facebook page, and the forum we run. We stock loads and loads of modeling products, including all our own products of our Apex airbrush, our pigments, primers, sanders, thinner and cleaner tools, our wonderful storage system, polish system, and weathering washes. We also sell modeling tools, paints, model kits, glue, solutions, fillers, weathering products, aftermarket, and of course, international scale modeler merchandise and gift cards. And all orders made before 12 midday get next day delivery in the UK, and international orders are shipped within 48 hours. Okay, with our body all polished up, we need to mask off our front grille and the very top of the engine bay at the front. So we've got some Tamiya thin tape here. I think it's the 2mm. And we're just going to go around and mask it all. Quite a lot of fiddly masking here to do. So we use all different sizes and of the thin and the regular Tamiya just to get it all in filled. But just some careful tape application. Always detack your tape. Use your hand or even your forehead. Forehead works really well at detacking tape. You look like a lunatic doing it. If your family catches you doing it or a neighbour through the window, they're going to think you've lost your marbles. But it does work really well. And as you see, we're using different pieces here to protect the bare metal foil. Be careful over the bare metal foil. Even though it's clear coated, you still need to be careful and really detack that tape. It's very easy to rip off things like this. As you see, we've got our Tamiya high-grade tweezers, which are one of my favourite tools. And we're just going to get everywhere masked up, and then we can airbrush some Mr. Surfacer on there. 1500, thin to Mr. Hobby leveling thinner for the apex, 18 psi. I didn't show it because, well, you don't want to watch me spray 20 seconds of black when you've seen me do it a million times before. So again, as we masked up carefully, we're going to unmask carefully. Every bit of tape's been detacked, so I'm quite confident we're not going to have any issues. But still take your time. As you can see, we've gone around with cling film to mask in the larger areas. But we're going to gently unmask it all. It doesn't look like I'm being gentle. I am. I know this tape's detacked. And I know it's going to cause no issues. And there we go. So that's all airbrushed. It's still drying really. It's still got a bit of a sheen to it. That will matten up a little bit. But there's a few areas we've missed. Where the tape's been. So we've got a fine Series 7. It is Winsor Newton, but it's a Series 7 brush. We've got some 1500 Mr. Surfacer neat in the bottle. It's quite thick out the bottle before it's thin for airbrushing. And we're just going to gently brush paint into those corners. It'll level itself and it'll never be seen. You'll never notice that. But just some careful painting right into those corners. We'll infill all those areas. Now, Molotow Chrome Pen. We've got the thin one here. I think it's the 1mm. And we're going to highlight that Challenger logo in amongst the front grille. So we've already pumped the pen to get the chrome to flow. And we're just touching it over the letters because we don't want it to spill over and then fill. We just want it on top of the letter and to give the impression of the Challenger logo. Now we've got the thicker I think it's the 2.5 or 3mm pen to go around, do the chrome trim around the edge. And again, careful application. We'll pump the pen to get the chrome paint to flow, and we're just lightly running it over till we get that nice edge, and then carefully run it on the bottom without touching it. Like so, and there we go. There's our grill done. Happy with that. Do not touch that now because that takes quite a while to dry. We've also done inside the lights as well. Did it off camera. Just ran around the reflectors inside. And now we're going to brush paint our battery. So we've got Vallejo Model Colour Black with some water. Just a couple of drops of water in there. And we're going to brush paint this. Like so. Nice careful brushing. We'll get a couple of coats on this. We won't get it covered in one go, but we'll go around, get the majority of it done, let it dry, come back and put a final coat over it at the end. And this will do our battery. There's a decal to go on here, and we'll also paint the terminals and the positive wire as well. So a bit more masking now. We've got our, I'm guessing this is a coolant bottle. No, it's not a coolant bottle. It's a screen wash bottle. So we're going to paint this in white. We're going to use Tamiya White Primer. But of course, in the meantime, it needs masking. So again, a bit of boring masking to do using the Tamiya thinner tapes. Just give it a whirl around. And then we can infill with larger tapes. Give it a couple of coats of the white primer. I did toy with doing the level, the screen wash level that we did on the skyline, but it can't really be, well, it could be seen, but I decided to leave it white. And there we go, masked up with the last of the Tamiya tape. We'll then chuck some cling film over it again like we did before, and we can give that a couple of coats, Tamiya White Primer, and that will do us there. So always take your time priming. You don't want to spray paint onto your freshly polished body. So a little bit of time taken is well worth it. Make sure everything's burnished down gently. And then, hey presto, Couple of coats of paint later. There we go. And again, for all the time it takes to mask, it takes you, what, 30 seconds to unmask it. Again, be nice and careful. Make sure you de-tack all that tape. And yeah, remove your masking tape nice and slow. So we're going to add the lid using a bit of low model colour black again. And then painting our battery terminal and connections with Revell model silver. Model silver again. Just gently brush paint it on. Again, nice fine brush as well. The Tamiya HF brushes. It's a tiny, tiny brush. Ideal for this job. Then we've got a Molotow paint marker. So these are available in a range of colours. They flow very, very fast. I think it's acrylic paint. It'll take multiple coats to cover black. So there's a wire moulded into the battery. So we're just going to run it up the outside. Dab the paint on. And it'll probably take 4 or 5 coats to get the coverage on that. But these paint pens, quite handy. I've got orange and red. I need to add a few more. They are handy. There we go. There's one coat down. We'll add several more of those until we get a nice shade of red on that positive battery terminal. Get our brake master cylinder and reservoir in place. A little bit of Loctite CA glue does the trick perfectly. To get it lined up, make sure it's straight. We've added a wash on that as well. We did that off air. And again, another coat of paint on the battery, and then we can come in and add our decal. So just get that on the side, get it all lined up. As always, remove the moisture, hit it with, we'll have some UMP strong on this, because I think that's what we used on the decals on the exterior. And that's that done. And then our headlight lenses all cut off and cleaned up. As you see, we molotowed the reflectors. These push fit in, and they literally click in place. Very positive fit. So get them in and just very lightly push down on them. I'm using the decal tweezers here from Tamiya, which I do like as a precision tool. The flat blades are a lot easier going and a lot easier to pick things up. There you go. Just leave it a light push, and they click in place like so. And again. And there we go. There's our lights in place. Nice and simple and easy. The last one proving a little bit stubborn. So no glue required on these at all. And there we are. Spot on. Looking good. License plate. Several come with the kit. I chose to use the 6-pack one on the front and the rear. So applied in the usual way. I put Ultimate Runner Products strong decal solution on this to get them to lay down, let them sit, give them a brush, get off any excess, and job done on those. Not too difficult at all. Get them to conform nicely into the license plate holder and onto the back of the car. And then our rear light, they have been hand painted in Tamiya Clear Red LP. We did that the night before. That's nicely dried now. Obviously the rear part has been Molotow chromed and clear coated in aqua gloss again. So just a quick test fit. Doesn't fit in there too bad, but it is going to need gluing in place. So I thought, right, perfect time for a little bit of our UV glue. So we put some out onto our paint cup. I'm just going to apply a little dab either side. Make sure we've got this the right way round. UV pen, 5-second fix. These are brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Pick them up on eBay. Dirt cheap. Comes with a UV pen to activate the glue. Takes about 5 seconds, believe it or not. So we do one side. Then we move on to the other. And hold and do the other side. Works very well. One of my favourite new finds, these things have been out for years, but they just seem to go a lot better over the last, well, since I tried them last. Interior mirror, got a monochrome pen again. We're just using the outline of the mirror to follow it round. It'll fill all the centre. Make sure it's all filled. It'll self-level itself. More than adequate for what we require. Don't touch this with your finger now. Very easy to do if you're clumsy oaf like me. Thankfully I didn't this time. But again, we grab our UV pen, a little dab where it's held, hold it with the tweezers, hit it with the pen, hit it with the UV light. Make sure it's angled the correct way. And then we've got our interior glass in, a couple of dabs of UV glue either side. There's 2 little locating points inside for this, so quite easy to get these in place. And a couple of extra dabs at the front and at the side. And then hit those with the UV light again. Very quick, simple and mess-free sticking of clear parts. Beats super glue, hands down. If you get any of this stuff on the glass, it wipes off with UMP airbrush cleaner, no bother at all. So it's a much safer solution. I'm going to pop our interior now, quite a tight fit. So figure out the best way. For me, it was slide it in the back and just spread those rear arches a little bit. And then again, there's 2 locator points. We're going to pop it in, push it home, like so. And then we grab our UV pen again. And just fill a little bit around the edge. If you put it on and leave for a second, it self-levels, capillary action pulls itself into the part, I've noticed. So just leave it for a couple of, well, not even a couple of minutes, 10, 15 seconds. And I find it definitely self-levels and creeps into the parts quite well. Don't want to creep too far, don't want to creep onto the interior parts. So just a couple of seconds will do on this. But again, hit it with the UV pen. The UV light cures it. And again, mess-free, fuss-free, quick, simple, easy, no risk of fogging from CA glue fumes. It's a very easy way of attaching parts like this. And it's pretty strong as well. It's strong enough for things like this. It's not a high-stress part, this. To be honest, looking at the way the kit goes together, you don't even really need to glue this in place, but I did. And the UV pen is the perfect tool for doing this. Like I say, if you get any part you shouldn't have, but UV airbrush cleaner, it does wipe it off. Just be careful on the part you're wiping it, because they are painted, they'll have a detrimental effect on those parts. Getting our chassis in now, just figuring out how to do this. So we went with the back in first. We just spread the edge a little bit very carefully. So get the back in first. Then we're going to spin it round. Make sure it's all lined up at the back. Like so. And then we just need to gently spread that wing a bit. And then the other side needs a little bit more. And there we go. Pops in place. There's 2 little locator points at the front. So a little dab of CA glue on those. And that is our chassis attached to the body. And then we can get our air filter onto our carbs. A little dab of Loctite Perfect Pen CA glue. Now, when using CA glue at this stage, be very, very careful. Keep it away from the model. Make sure you don't drip any on it or get any on your fingers, because it's so easily to ruin your hard work at this stage. It really is. Our bonnet, hood, pins, whatever you want to call them. We're just going to brush paint these in some Vallejo Model Air silver again with our Series 7 brush. My head nicely in shot there. Look at all that grey hair. It's terrible, isn't it? Terrible. And there we are. We'll do that for both sides. And then our rear bumper. 2 little points that are marked on the rear. So we're just going to add a little dab of CA glue. Get that lined up. Get it in place. Hold it for a second or 2. Make sure you get it lined up. So we're looking at the locator point at the bottom. Making sure it's lined up at the top, make sure it's flush and level, and then just hold it for a minute. Not even a minute, 10 seconds it'll do. Just make sure it's all lined up the way you want it before you commit to leaving it. Just needs a little, there we go, a little bit of a push. And that's in place. And then we can add a wash to our wheels. These were the kit chrome wheels, and all we did was flat coat them a little bit. So it dulled down the chrome, but also left quite a nice finish behind. And it's a different finish to the bumpers and that, which is what I like to do, as a contrasting colour. It definitely works quite well. So we'll put that in, let that dry, wipe off the excess. We've got some glue and glaze from Deluxe Materials now for attaching several parts on the exterior. So the fuel filler cap, we're using a cocktail stick to apply this. Make sure you drink your cocktail and eat all your cherries first. Don't put your cherries on afterwards. Definitely don't do that. Glue does not taste good. And then, like I say, we come back in, a little bit of odourless mineral spirits on a cotton bud, and we're going to remove most of the wash, leaving behind the recessed areas full. So around the wheel studs, any recessed details, it'll look good. So coming to the end, we've got some Ultimate Modeling Products Polish System Shine. So this is the spray detail wax. So it's going to go round, give this a light coat all over. Let that dry to a fine haze. Buffer off with a clean cloth, and we will have one nice and shiny model. So get it around everywhere you need. Be extra careful not to knock parts off now. Take your time. These later stages of a build are quite nerve-wracking, because this is where things start to go wrong. If any parts have been glued on, make sure you're very careful and aware of them. Anything that's been CA glued, stay well away from, because the last thing you want to do now is snag a little bit of wet CA glue and drag it all on that body. Ask me how I know. Been there, done it. So I try and use UV or PVA glue on the exterior as much as I possibly can. Some parts won't glue well with that. You have to use CA glue. That's just by the by. Once this is dried, it takes a couple of minutes to haze up. We can just give it a real nice buff up to a nice high shine. Beautiful green. Really happy I chose this green colour. I think I have to pick another one of these kits up. It's been a great kit to build. Pretty looking car as well. I quite like to do one on a different scheme. So maybe we can pick one up at a later date. So all the way around the body, get rid of all that spray wax. You can do your windows with it should you wish, but to be honest, I try and steer clear of the clear part as much as possible with any cloths. All I tend to use is a glasses cleaning cloth to clean them up, and then steer clear of them, because even carbon fibre towels like these will scratch them quite easily. Now, yeah, I've just polished that bit and put my thumb in it. There's no other way of holding this really. So once this is done, I can pop it down on the bench, give the roof another quick wipe over, and it's done. But the shine, along with the polish system, works really well. It's perfect for scale models. It's just got the right amount of abrasiveness, and combined with the micro mesh, in my opinion, it's the perfect recipe for doing this. So as you can see, we've got a nice deep shine. Now, with the engine bay on this, I toyed with the idea of adding a wash on the inner wings and those recesses, but looking at pictures, these cars are pretty well kept, taken well care of. The engine bays are pretty spotless, so I thought, no, I think I quite like it like that. So I decided to leave it be. It might look a bit odd to some people. For me, I'm treating this like it was a show car. There we go, all polished up. We've got our bonnet on now as well. We've got some glue and glaze again with some water. Now this has been left on that pot now for about 10 minutes. It tacks up really well. It starts to go thick, but it also makes it very, very tacky. So for attaching parts like this, like wing mirrors, where we kind of need a little bit of instant grab, but we don't want to use CA glue, it's perfect for those. So repeat that for both sides, looking at pictures and references, make sure they're symmetrical and that you've got the right one on each side. Using the glue and glaze, tacked up a bit, really does help stick the parts down. We've got the inserter in there, the chrome insert. They've been glue and glazed in as well. And that is that. Now, funny story, the spoiler, this spoiler here, I threw away. I couldn't find it anywhere. My buddy Simon very kindly offered me to send him his as a loaner. I will send him another one when I buy another one of these kits. He very kindly sent it me next day, which allowed me to finish this build. So thank you, mate. It's much appreciated. It was given a couple of coats of Mr. Surface of black. The decal was put on. I'm just lining this up now to see how it fits. And again, we're going to use some Deluxe Materials glue and glaze. Let it tack up a little bit. You can see at the top, it's sat there tacking up. It'll get a skin on it and it really starts to thicken and get really sticky. And then we'll just put a couple of dabs on the top and bottom. We can wipe off any excess. That's not an issue. But we're just going to put some strategic dabs on the inside. Like so. And again, keep it off your hands as much as you possibly can. Try not to drop it like that. And then we're going to pop it in place. I'm just giving it another few seconds to tack up a bit. Because we've disturbed the bubble. It's fresher glue underneath. And then we'll pop it in place. Get it all lined up. Push it down. Let it get some purchase to it. Have a little look. Turn it round. Have a look. Is it straight? Is it lined up at the sides? Is it lined up at the back? Move it round till you're happy. Once you are happy, get a cotton bud. Definitely don't use your mouth to wet it. And then we'll hold it with one thumb while we gently wipe over with the other. Making sure we're all still lined up. Don't lick it like I just didn't. And then we just remove all that glue and glaze and then dry it off with a clean cotton bud. And there we go. There is our finished model. I am very happy with this. It's a pretty car. Very happy with this colour. You can see the colour better in the pictures than the camera. The camera's quite harsh on colours. It does seem to wash them out a little bit. But beautiful colour. TS22 over UMP grey primer. Worked fantastic. Decanted and sprayed for the Ultimate Airbrush Apex. 18 PSI. Several coats over it. We then used the kit decals, which went down without any issue whatsoever. And then we 2K cleared that with Gravity Spain 2K clear coat. We left the kit wheels as factory chrome, but we dulled them with some dual coat matte clear coat. The bonnet is Mr. Surfacer, as are most of the exterior black parts, because I like that as a black colour. The chrome work on the exterior is Molotov chrome over GX2 gloss black. And of course, exterior we matted and polished with the Ultimate Polish System and Micromesh. Interior is flocked with some embossing powder. We use Ushi van der Rosten wood decals for the trim and our AK wood colours to hand paint the steering wheel and interior trim as well. Overall, great kit. This has come out really well. Real shame about that flock on the roof. You can see it just there in the corner. Not much we can do about it. We'll rebuild this in a different colour at a later date. But I'm still happy how this has turned out. It's a pretty car. And I'm happy with the colour and generally how it's turned out. Obviously we wired our engine as well. And yeah, it doesn't look bad at all. So there we go. Another one off the bench. There we are then. Another one off the bench. I think that was my 6th completed build of the year. 6th completed video build of the year, which considering we did the big skyline as well, that's not too bad for me. I'm happy with that. Not as prolific as I have been in the past, but video building them is not only take a bit longer to do because you're taking, for every part video there could be up to a week of building to get to that part, and then once that's all filmed, you're looking at a day of editing and uploading, so it takes time away from the build. And don't forget, I'm doing 3 live shows a week as well, so not too shabby. Quite happy with that, to be honest. It's been a very enjoyable build, a great kit. I'm really starting to like these American car kits more and more, which is good because we've got quite a lot of them in the stash now, so you are going to see them over time. And yeah, they seem to be getting good views on the channel as well. They really do. And they're changing like the demographic and analytics of the channel as well. We're getting a lot more American viewers, and we're getting a few younger viewers as well than we normally would on other videos. So that's always good to see. So we've still got the Cobra to finish off. We're going to be coming up to part 2 of that very soon. Just started working on the engine today. And I don't know how long that's going to take. I have no idea. But come the end of the month, we've got the Motorsport GB starting on the channel. And that's what I want my next video build to be. What will it be? I have no idea. I honestly don't know yet. I've got a few thoughts, but I haven't definitively decided yet. But it's going to be road or track race, I'm going to say. So track race car, GT, Le Mans, whatever, and fully livered up as well. Full decal scheme. Because I feel like I've not done one for a while. We've not done a road race car since the GT4 last year, I think. Let me think. Yeah, we've done the rally car, road cars. Yeah, I think it was last year when we did the GT4. So it's been quite a while since we've done one. I've got plenty to choose from. Picking one's the problem. So, yeah, we'll have a chat about that in my next bench update, which should be out in a few days anyway, if you want to pop in and have a look. So, yeah, let me know your thoughts and comments on the builds. Does it look like it was built like an 8-year-old, like this arsehole said? Anyway, let me know your thoughts. What would you like to see on the channel as well? There's a link to my scale mates in the description of the video as well. Have a look on there, see what you think I should build. Always open to suggestions. Let me know. And of course, leave a comment on the video. Make sure you sub to the channel, click the bell notification, and give us a thumbs up or thumbs down as well. So thanks for watching today. Make sure you check out Natasha Scarmolder Facebook page and forum, umpretail.com, for all the products you can find in my videos, and I'll link to the description down below. My Paul SM Facebook page and Instagram page, and of course the Live at the Bench page and the Off Air Hangout group for all the Off Air Hangouts. And I do apologise for all the people in the last video who I had hunting round for the funny segment in the video. I pre-recorded the ending like I do with this now, then I upload it onto the video, and I may have forgotten to put the funny thing in there. So I do apologise. I found it quite funny 3 hours later after I uploaded it, and I thought, I didn't put it in there. Oh no. So I do apologise for that. It's funny, isn't it, at the end of the day? And it made you watch the video closely, so it works. Thanks for watching today. I'll catch you all next time. Take care. Bye-bye.